I'm going to deliver my speech in 3, 2, 1. The motion is about this House would impoverish the corruptors. Under the opening, government said that they said that the corruptors should pay back more than they do a corruption. I think this is the pragmatism. Why? Because of when the corruptor do the payback more than one times, we actually don't even know how much the wealth of this corruptor. So the only way to solve this is just the government should take all money of the corruption. So they should take all that loss of something that happened from these corruptors. And then if these corruptors cannot get back of this money, how who can get paid this back? How about their family? And then their family actually get impact from this, but they have no responsibility to pay back of this money. So the actually goal of this is just not to make many profit like from the government, but this is the only way to show a number of the corruptors case in Indonesia or in the world right now. Under the opening opposition said that jail times and fines is sufficient for this problem, and actually jail times and fines actually that has been applied in the world and especially in Indonesia right now. In the status quo right now, that the corruption still happen bravely in Indonesia. So there's a big case that people that from the government can do this bravely, and then with the number big amount of money. So actually that the corruption is the superior crime, or no matter what, this is a small or big, but this from the when this is just make loss for a big amount of money, so they should do a big punishment. Like this is just like to the impoverish these corruptors. So uh, a number of increasing case corruption in Indonesia still happened. Like the ICW said that in 2020 there's a 62 billion of losing in Indonesia because of the corruptors, and it shows that jail times is not insufficient to punish the corruptors. In the status quo, this is just say that when the corruptors being in a jail, so they actually not suffer. They actually can do this kind of crime again, because of in a jail they actually being in a special room with a special facility. They actually have bedroom. So or even 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years in the jail, this is there is no problem because of they still comfort there, because of they still have a rest of money because of the corruption. And then after that, and then after that, under the opening opposition said this is the actually also impoverish their family to actually this is not the family responsibility, but the family should get impact from this because of this crime. Take for instance when the father when in the family the father do a corruption, so the wife and the children uh, automatically impactful from this, even a social and economic impact. But let's take a look in this status quo, or even it's better to sacrifice one family or sacrifice in a whole Indonesia. And a whole Indonesia get impact because of this corruption. Take for instance, when the corruption still happen in Indonesia, it just can get increasing the number of poverty in Indonesia. And then when then the corruption actually that the money can use to the educational affair, or to do a build up a rural area in the to build up a rural area. But when this because of this corruption, so it suffer everything. It's better to sacrifice a family than we sacrifice a whole Indonesia. And then character, uh, I can summarize that actually that the corruptor is not being afraid to be in the jail because they're still comfort, because of they do harmful in the jail, because they can still do many activities and even watching television, or sleep in the good bed. And then I can summarize that the corruptor is not afraid to be in the jail, but they are afraid being poor. So how can we make make the corruption being poor is through the impoverished. And in the corruption actually a superior crime, so we have to find the big punishment to make a deterrent effect to the corruptor. Take for instance in Singapore do a death penalty for this case, because after this death penalty it's just like when we compare with our country, country law, so the corruption don't even get death penalty, so they just do in the jail. And then government actually should do a hardest punishment, because to stop the existing of a number of corruption in Indonesia, we don't want the corruption always exist and make a negative impact and make the decreasing of Indonesia welfare. And then the deterrent effect means that with giving the impoverished the character, so through this impoverished that society actually would be afraid to do the corruption even in the small area. So how about if in a government do this corruption, so this is just like government actually, this is the show, this is the example to the society. When the government do this, it is worth to give this impoverished, because of they are known to the society, and this is the good example when they impoverish. And then I said that there's an example to the corruption, like EKTP, like a bank sanctuary actually can get lost for Indonesia in a more than 7 billion. So, by a number of big corruption in Indonesia still exists, that this is a good way for our government for this time to impoverish the corruptors, because of we don't want this the existence of corruption in the world happen. Thank you.